Hello, my name is Joanna. I'm project manager at Denmark Computers, and I will be hosting this webinar on digitalization in e-commerce. The webinar will be divided into 4 sessions. The first one is an introduction on digitalization in e-commerce. The second session is the main part of this webinar, and it's on website performance and website analytics. And then we will continue to session number 3 on some very briefs on online security considerations. And the last session will be a follow-up and to summarize what has been discussed during this webinar. So let's start from answering a very general question. Are you digitalized? If you have difficulties with understanding this question and how to answer it, consider some additional questions. As for example, do you have a website? Do you use the internet to reach your clients? Do you contact your clients by email? Do you prefer online marketing campaigns? Do you make use of a live chat? And do you have a payment gateway? Do you accept M-payments? And do you have a professional social media account? Do you have a digital representation of your offer? If your answer is yes, and to at least one of these questions, it means your e-commerce is already digitalized, at least to some extent. Of course, the more digital solutions you will be using, the more audience you will be able to attract. Using the internet as a dominant communication channel implies that you are a modern and flexible SME, which may prove to be an asset in comparison to other similar companies from your countries. So, new technologies and digital concepts facilitate e-commerce activities, especially across borders, making businesses more profitable, but also improving competences and your e-business competitiveness. Digitalization in e-commerce implies taking your sales one step further into the digital space. Making a use of a variety of digital instruments, you will be in a better position to generate leads and demonstrate your engagement in building a business strategy in line with ongoing advancements in technology. Digitalization enables for an e-commerce online presence. This already defines what digitalization is. If it is still not clear to you, please continue with listening to this webinar. Okay, so why should we digitalize? First of all, to reach more clients and customers. SMEs are especially adaptable to the introduction of new technologies, which gives them a competitive advantage over larger companies, which means that with digitalization, we will be able to increase our competitiveness. Also, the more solutions we offer, we will make ourselves more attractive. More clients also nowadays choose online shopping over traditional shops. Therefore, your SME should also be more flexible to these conditions. And with the use of online channels, so with the visibility of your business online, you will also be able to expand your offer range. But not only, digital solutions also ease communication and make the communication with your customers easier, and with the use of various tools. And this will impact building an online community. make segmentation easier. What does this mean? Digitalization also helps in market segmentation. Therefore, you will observe that different markets are preferring other digital some digital tools over others. Therefore, you will be able to adjust these tools based on your target audience and the market you will be delivering to, because your e-commerce business should be client-centered. So you should put all your efforts in your business activity in order to attract your clients, and therefore you will be an attractive, modern, client-centered e-commerce business. However, what should be mentioned is that digitalization also assists in managing business activities inside your structures, and examples are storing files, sharing files, and file backup. The different software you are using also to collaborate and maintain in-company communication are examples of digital tools. But let's concentrate on some other concepts of digitalization in e-commerce. Okay, so let's have a look at some basic components of online presence. First of all, emails. You as a business can take advantage of emails to send clients marketing campaigns. Marketing campaigns are also a strategic component of digitalization. However, you must be aware of the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. It is obligatory to have permission from an email recipient to send them such emails, as you will be storing their data, even if this is only an email. Moreover, you can personalize them meaning emails and your marketing campaigns. And this is where customer segmentation comes in, steps in, based on your customers' online behavior, their country of residence and cultural aspects, among others. You will be able to deliver personalized campaigns or any other online activity based on their preferences or history of activities. Among the goals of your e-commerce efforts should be to provide segmented information, especially if there is a big distance in location between you and your customers. Another basic component of digitalization is a live chat. It could be an asset, but also a constraint in terms of time, because real-time interaction compensates and the lack of real contact in your e-commerce. And when you are able to provide regular live chat service hours, it will be an asset, but if you are not able to, then you should introduce automated responses to most frequent questions. You will also find that customers, especially international ones, prefer a live chat to other communication channels when they are interested in receiving answers to more than one question. And then they will probably choose to contact you through a live chat rather than writing an email. The next instrument that must be mentioned is social media. Social media channels are a popular tool for many reasons. They will help you to boost your sales, but also you will be able to find out how your competitors are performing, how much people are speaking about you, in which way. You will be able to react to feedback immediately, either positive or negative, and also be able to track market trends, and social media also goes in pair with website performances, and although website is still a recommended channel to start your online presence, you should not neglect the power of social media. SMEs are recommended to start their online presence with website development if in their roadmap to success they plan to go international, to reach international markets. And this will be the focus of our second session. We will now speak on website performance and website analytics. Okay, so as you already know, websites are a powerful tool in internationalization. Um, why is that? It is up to you, what and how you speak through your website. So, depending on the type of your e-business, your target audience, and what you have to offer, your website will have a specific structure. Therefore, it's only up to you what information you want to make available, what you deem to be most important, and to tailor it to your audience. Then apart from just creating and developing your website, it is also important that you keep it up to date, that you analyze all the data and introduce any improvements if necessary. And this is where website analytics steps in. So website analytics, it enables you to check a few different components of a website. The most popular or most often consulted ones include who and when is visiting your website, who can imply the age group, also if this is an individual or if it's a business representative, when they are visiting, at what time of the day, but also if this is during working hours or during the weekend. You will also find out what your visitors are looking for, if they are more interested in your parameters of a product, or if they will be searching for information on delivery options or payments, for instance. Also, with website analytics, you will find out what pages capture most of their attention. So on which pages they are more likely to spend more time on. And also, you will find out at what point your website visitors decide to leave, or so abandon your website, probably to check the website of your competitors, which you probably would prefer not to happen. So answering these questions will help you to improve your website's performance and to increase your e-commerce success. But how else can website analytics help you, and what benefits it will bring to your e-commerce? Well, also with a good performing website, you will be more successful in promoting your products. And what's connected with this, you will be able to establish new sales channels. And the reduction in costs and decreasing distribution time are also very important aspects, which will be something that you will be also concentrating on. And when you also improve your customer service, you will be also achieving better results. Website analytics will also help you to improve your brand image. You will be more visible online with a good online strategy. You will also be able to maintain relations with your customers and possibly find new collaborations. Like, for example, an outsourcing company could be a good solution in delivery, or when you decide to choose a specific payment gateway because that specific customer from a specific country would be in favor of that solution. Moreover, website analytics will help you to gather valuable market data. You will also experiment with new ways of communication, and you will be able to compare yourself with your competitors, and much more. Okay, so why else? Why should you use actually Google Analytics? Well, firstly, you will be in the position of choosing those channels of communication and putting more focus on those pages that are attracting the most attention. Secondly, you will find out which pages or information your customers are most interested in. So this could be about shipping, about product details, and so you can work on your bounce rate. What is a bounce rate? Well, the situation when your customers are leaving your website due to the lack of their interest will be a bounce rate, and probably they will be bouncing off to your competitors, and you would probably like to not have such a situation. And thirdly, well, you will get detailed information in a variety of areas, even at what time your website is most often visited. Okay, so as we already spoke about the benefits and what website analytics can bring to your business, let's now look at how to start and how to implement this tool. Well, the first thing you need is a Google account. Our recommendation, as mentioned, will be to have Google Analytics. Make sure that you have a business account. It will be easier to compare data. Once you have Google account, once you have set up your analytical tool, you need to sign in and provide some basic information about your website. Then afterwards, you will go to the command get tracking, and with a tracking ID, you can start tracking the information captured on your website. Okay, so website tracking. What's the information that you will get? We already looked at this a bit. There are a few areas on Google Analytics. There is, of course, a general overview of all the activities, which I will show you just in a moment. And there are also some additional sections. One of these sections is the audience overview page. And in this section, in specific, you will find out about how many visitors visited your page on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, monthly basis. When is the visiting peak time? You will also find out in this section how many visitors you have and how many of them are returning visitors. What's the bounce rate? What's the average session duration? And also what countries your visitors come from. In another section, you can look into visitors, how your visitors reached your website. Is it through direct search, through social media lead links? Is it organic search or any referral? And this information you will find out in the acquisition section. In the behavior section, you will find out what pages the visitors are actually interested in. Some connected actions with website analytics, some other activities that you can perform that will improve the performance of your website include search engine optimization. You can work on a few additional words, and with these investing in some of these keywords, you can also improve the way Google positions you in their results. Another option can be paid advertising, and this is also something recommended by Google. It's a solution by Google, and these are AdWords. The next thing, and very important in terms of how Google positions you, is whether your website is adjusted to mobile devices, if it is responsive or adaptive. And also through Google Analytics, you can track this. You can track from what devices your users are visiting you, if they are clicking to your page through PCs or through mobile devices. And this is where m-commerce also steps in, so mobile devices in e-commerce, which are more and more popular. And payments also, yes. Okay, so we have a general overview. We know how to set up Google Analytics. More details are provided in module number 4 on the e-learning platform. The module is called e-commerce. And now let's have a look at a real example. Let's have a look at Google Analytics. Okay, I will now go to a sample page of Google Analytics. We will start from a general overview. This is the home page after logging into Google Analytics, and here you see a general overview of information coming from a website. First, you have the number of users, sessions, the bounce rate, which is quite high in this instance, average session duration, and this is presented also some information in the form of a graph. Some information that could be important in the respect of e-commerce is active users right now. Important, for example, if you have an offer that's only for some certain period of time, you can see how many people are interested at it at the moment. Also, on the general overview page, you will see how you acquire your users. So is it from organic search or other? You can observe how your active users are trending over time, how well you retain users. Then you have more details on when your users are visiting your site, at what time, during what days, where they come from which countries, and what are the top devices that they visit your website from. You will also find out, in this case, what pages your users visit most often. So this is a general overview you get when you log in to your Google account. Then you have some additional information here on the left. You have sections like audience, acquisition, behavior, conversion. In audience, you can, for example, check the demographics of your audience. Let's have a look at this. You see the age group of your visitors. You can also check by gender, their interest categories, and so on. In the acquisition section, you can look at, for instance, the traffic, some from which channels they come from. Let's have a look at this. Here you see that most of the users come from organic search. In the behavior section, for instance, you can have a look at the behavior flow or the site search. If we click on this overview, it will show us here which specific pages on your website are most often visited. An additional section valuable for e-commerce is this conversion section. Here you have e-commerce, and you can check also the performance of your sales. So for example, if you want to collect transaction data, you should investigate in this specific option. You can also download this data in the form of a report and compare it at any time to improve your website performance. The data can also be tracked by in longer periods of time or by days. So you can also decide to analyze specific different days to compare them. Okay, I hope that proves that website analytics is important, and to analyze how your website performs to better perform online activities. Now let's continue to the last session, a very short session about online security considerations. Although it's a short session, it doesn't mean that it is less important information. Online safety is very important, and as online safety usually is identified with online payments, it is not only the case, as safety in e-commerce also implies a few other things. The ability to confirm both who the seller and buyer is, also encrypted, so coded transmission of data between the consumer and the seller, and securing the server from unauthorized persons accessing the customer's data without their consent, and securing the server from third-party attacks, both from outside or from inside. So actually, safety in e-commerce implies a variety of things, and each of them should be treated at equal importance. Now let's look at some different steps of e-commerce protection, starting from the most easiest to implement. So the first thing is to have contact details easily accessible through your website. So your customers should not have any difficulties with finding information on how to contact you. So your email, telephone, and location. You can also decide to use a contact form. E-commerce site privacy policy. Your website should include a privacy policy so that you can demonstrate that you are complying with the legislation. Customers will be looking for specific data, for example, return policies, safe shipment procedures, and GDPR compliance forms. Then the next steps that you should pay attention to is to have an SSL certificate, so a secure sockets layer. This is some kind of a digital certificate which secures connections from a web server to a browser, and also the data transfers, logins, and social media browsing, any payment procedures. It will guarantee to your customers, demonstrate to your customers that your website is safe, and they will be looking for a lock as such on your domain address, next to your domain address. Another thing is security seal. Security seals document the adherence of your eShop to a privacy policy and when the last security scan was conducted, so that it will demonstrate to your users that your website is not infected, that there is no viruses on it. Okay, so we are coming to an end of our webinar. And I hope you found it interesting, that you found out about some key information which should not be neglected in terms of e-commerce performance and online presence. All in all, due to the fact that e-commerce is providing both consumers and SMEs with more opportunities and ways to benefit from it, safety should also be an important aspect, so remember about that. Also at the moment, I leave you with some self-reflection questions, which are, what have you found out from this webinar? Do you understand how important online presence is for your business? How will you adjust your efforts to reach more clients or individual ones or international ones? Will digitalization be a treasure in taking your business to the next level? To summarize, research shows that enterprises perform better when analyzing their website analytics and keeping track of their business activity online. Internationalization in e-commerce is a step-based and long-term process which starts from short-term objectives. Make use of website analytics and other digital instruments to be a successful international e-commerce. Thank you for your attention. For additional references on the topic of digitalization, I invite you to go to Module 4, e-commerce, on our e-learning platform, available through the project website.